It's been 2 years since China made the switch to a two-child policy, but the anticipated baby boom has not lived up to expectations. The birth rate increased in 2016, but fell by more than 600,000 in 2017. What kind of challenges does that present for a country with a growing, aging population? I put that question to Mei Fong, author of One-Child Policy, China's Most Radical Experiment.
This would be like expecting the river to run upstream, so to speak, right? To expect suddenly, once they lift the one-child restrictions, that everybody in China, especially in major cities where women are working and doing every other thing in a modern society, would suddenly want to have more children. Why? Are they going to get paid more? No. Are they going to face workplace restrictions? Possibly. Are men suddenly going to help out more in their jobs? I don't think so. So why, really?
Talk to me about when this becomes a crisis.
Well, by 2030, China's population will peak, very much so. And then after that, it's probably a downward slide pretty fast. Now, one of the reasons why China has argued that they need to have tighter birth restrictions was because population growth, once it starts, it multiplies, right? It's a multiplier effect. The same way goes down when you're going downhill in that direction. It's very hard to reverse. So around about 2030 is when the population will peak, and after that, they'll be starting to add 10 million seniors every year to the payroll and losing about 7 million working adults. So that's obviously not a great scenario for a healthy, vibrant, growing economy.
Break down the numbers for us, because I know a lot of people were looking to 2016. There was a spike in newborns that year. Is that a trend that can be maintained, or was it just a one-year blip, would you say, or what are we seeing?
I mean, the expectation is when they lifted restrictions, they might have a little bit of a rise. But the overall trend every year, and this is even before they lifted and changed to a two-child policy, has been down, down, down. Prior to the two-child policy move, they had actually lifted restrictions in places like Shanghai and Beijing for a while. And even then, it was like this. So this is the way that stick is going so far. And, absent any major policy implementations that could induce women to have more children, this is the way it will still continue to be.
And you kind of outlined all the reasons why a working mom who's got a career would say, I don't need a second child. I've got my one kid. I'm happy with that. How do you change that mentality? Because at some point, as you pointed out, these trend lines don't look good. As a government, how do you encourage couples to have more?
The few countries that have sort of been able to sort of reverse the downward slide, mostly Scandinavian countries, have done so by offering a huge array of incentives, very generous supplements on education, on maternity and paternity. But also, in addition to that, they've also been very, very strong on gender equality. So there's a very strong correlation between birth rates and gender equality. The problem with China now, it's still a very patriarchal society. So until you get to the point where, say, men will be helping equally in the households, where men will apply for paternity leave as well as women applying for maternity leave, until you get that point, it's very hard to imagine that slide being arrested. So where are they going to allocate their resources, and how much will they have to? Because this will be a huge demand on the public purse, either way you look at it.
It's going to be a fascinating story to watch. Mei Fong, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.